Well, joining me is someone who brings real on reel, Madhur Bhandarkar and Kriti Kulhari uncensored. Now, when we saw the promo, you were overwhelmed with the response. Everyone was like, brilliant, and the censor board. And suddenly this backlash started. So what did you go through in the last 2 weeks with the Congress workers protesting, the censor board having problems, and somebody wanting a stay order on the release of your film? So what were these last 2 weeks, the run-up to the release of the film, like for you?
Been a nightmare, and I think I had this like 10 days been very sleepless night, and the kind of trauma I would say gone through, it's huge. Because first the censor came, I felt 14 cuts and 2 disclaimers, and the examining committee saw the film, and what they told me, it was really, I was appalled with the kind of suggestion they gave. And that's why I wanted to move to the tribunal, but tribunal already had 4-5 films backlog. They couldn't give me an appropriate date because for releasing on 20th July. So we went back to the revising committee, and revising committee gave us a time, and there was 9 members who saw the film, and they look into larger perspective, and they cleared the film now.
And with 4 cuts and 1 disclaimer?
Actually 2 cuts,
okay.
Minor cuts, and 2 beeps, words were there. And 1 disclaimer, 2 disclaimer, like one the same, it's like Hindi and English disclaimers. That was it. And
the censor board chief had praised your film, saying, oh, brilliant, you know, so brave to make a film on the emergency. Now suddenly why did the board get so upset with the language used? See, or what was it?
I don't know, he had not seen the movie. This movie was seen by another committee which comprises of 5 people. They saw the film and they came with this suggestion and all. That's why I was not happy and I was very disappointed. And I'm very happy, I would appreciate that. Revising committee definitely looked in larger perspective and had cleared the film without touching the essence of the film, which is the core thing to fulfill.
When both of you, I mean, you decided to make the film and you stepped into the project, what was it about the emergency that appealed to you, that you thought, because movies on emergency weren't made?
See, nobody has made, and people always have this thing to put under the carpet, the whole emergency ka thing. And I felt it as a backdrop of emergency, I'm using emergency as a backdrop. It's not on an individual, it's not a docudrama on emergency. It's just an incident, what happened during the emergency, and a perspective. It's from the point of view of Indu Kirti's role. Her journey into where she's stammering, she's basically a girl who's orphan, and she gets married to a bureaucrat. Bureaucrat happened to be working in the government of the day. And there is an ideologically problem between the 2 people when they get married. According to him, he feels the emergency is the right thing. According to she feels the emergency is the wrong thing, what is happening. So there's a clash between 2 people and what happened later on, and how the underground activists is to work during those times opposing the government. That's the subject.
And Indu Sarkar, of course, I mean, it's her name, but if we read between the lines, it's also Indira Gandhi ki Sarkar ke upar, whatever. So, but what was it like? Was your character challenging? You come to it from a movie like Pink.
It was surely very challenging. When Madhur in fact saw Pink, and that's how he thought of me for the character. So yes, after Pink, I think as an actor, you're always looking at, you know, raising your bar and, you know, challenging yourself. So when Indu Sarkar came to me, which is almost the next day, he called me after watching Pink. And when I heard the subject, when I heard the story, when I heard the character, I was like, this is it. This has to be my next film, first film after Pink, you know. And it gave me every opportunity to just really push myself. And in fact, there's a very important trait of the character, which is she stammers through the film, and I think that was something that's not really explored in Bollywood too much, and this was my chance to sort of try and do that right. So I hope I have.
I'm sure you weren't born during the emergency, so what was your taking from that period and the film, because you're seeing that period unfold on reel?
Yes, you're right about that. I wasn't born during emergency, but yeah, I think I had not really heard of emergency before I came on to the film. And when I came on board, my first response or responsibility was to go through the period that we are talking about, which is going to be such an important part of the film. And for me, it was, if I could use the word, horrifying, to say the least, considering the kind of things happened, considering something like an emergency which lasted for about 21 months it's a long time, you know, and especially after 20 years or 28 years of being free, after having fought for so long for your freedom, suddenly you enter a phase which is again, basically you're not free. All your constitutional rights are taken away as a citizen, and it was really quite a shocker for me.
And also now the opposition party are concerned, like many have written a letter to you, how has the character been portrayed in the film, and also showcasing Mrs. Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi in the movie. The Congress seems to be upset. So, and is your film a work of fiction? But you can see, like Neel Nitin Mukesh's character is a lot like Sanjay Gandhi.
See, one thing, let me tell you, see, we always knew that there is a political ramification when you make such films. But I didn't know it would go that extent. See, I'll tell you one thing, in Hollywood you make films on Holocaust, you make film on civil rights, and they have the liberty, they have the freedom to do whatever they want. There's absolutely nothing. Till when we talk about pushing our Indian cinema in a different level or pushing the envelope, why not? It has been, you cannot deny there was no emergency in this country. There was emergency in this country, and I am just trying to show what, and I have to tell you this, I had to pre-censor in a lot of phases this movie. I had to pre-censor when I was scripting it, when I have to pre-censor while shooting it, when dubbing it, when editing it. So I have done all these things because definitely I have friends across all parties. It's not one party sees my movie or some other party. It is every party. I have friends in Congress also who are very dear friends of mine, who are my well-wishers and who obviously cannot come open and support me because they have their loyalty towards the party, and I appreciate that. That's absolutely okay. But they have been telling me constantly, "Ki change this, change that," and I try to make it. And especially when censor told us to put a disclaimer about it, work of fiction, we have to put. We have no option because the movie is like. I just want to ask people, ki why you are not giving the same liberty who people who author who has written books on emergency. Komi Kapoor ji has written a book. Kuldeep Nair sir has written the book. Their documentaries have been made on emergency by taking name and everything. I mean to say the statistics is there by the Shah Commission, and apart from it, why not the same liberty is given to a filmmaker? I'm just asking you, why it is being curbed on me, no, you cannot show this, cannot put the names or change the name. Why it is not like that for the filmmaker? This is very sad. Okay, we don't have that kind of liberty. Okay, where you have to put the work of dramatization or work of fiction, we have to put like that a disclaimer over there.
And also during the emergency movies like Andhi, Kisa Kursi Ka, were banned.
Kishore
Kumar was banned because he refused to sing at a
Mumbai
at a rally, and then he was banned for the longest time. And then later you had one Hazaro Khwaishein Aisi, which saw the student protest.
Yeah. And it was just a backdrop of emergency.
Was the
but
backdrop.
This is more elaborated and the summary of emergency during what happened during the time of emergency.
So when you were exploring it, which was the areas that you wanted to highlight on and bring to light for, because many of your young cinegoers weren't born during the
absolutely
emergency.
No. And I'll tell you one thing, Pooja, after our trailer came, I mean 1 month back, there's my guy told me it's a jump on the Wikipedia page where people have gone and access the thing, what was exactly emergency is all about, the youngster. That is where somewhere people have connected to it. And I think people today in social media are quite aware of political things happening in the country. They have opinion, they have a thing, whatever it is. So I think that's a good sign that people want to know what exactly happened during the emergency.
And what is your take on these accusations that are coming your way? It's a propaganda film.
See, I'll tell you one thing. You prove it. I'm going to say my film, I have worked as a creative filmmaker. I have not worked as a party propaganda, one thing. Let the country decide. Let the country go and watch the movie and then decide if it's a propaganda film or Madhur Bhandarkar has worked as a filmmaker in the film.
True, absolutely. And also now you're being equated with roles of very strong charactered women. Pink was women empowerment here. Again, do you think somewhere you're going to get stereotyped in the big bad world of Bollywood?
There's a huge possibility, yes. I think after Pink also that was again a possibility, and maybe Pink, as I said, Pink is the reason I got Indu Sarkar. So while I mean it's great to be able to do these kind of roles and pull off these roles, but no, I think as an actor, even if there is a tendency to stereotype in Bollywood, I think as an actor the kind of roles I would choose very consciously would be to break those stereotypes time and again. So in fact right after Indu Sarkar I have a film called Raita with Irfan Khan, which is a black comedy, and I'm sorry but my character in that film is not empowered, so to say. She's a very She's nothing like the characters I've played so far. It's a very different genre. So I think I'm here to, people are here to probably stereotype because it's convenient, it makes it easy for them, and I'm here to break all of them.
And Madhur, why is it with your movies everybody feels ये मेरे बारे में तो कोई नहीं बात कर रहा? When there was Page 3, there was protest. Fashion, there was protest. Dil to Bachcha Hai Ji also certain, and then Heroine, there was a protest. And now Indu Sarkar, we are just seeing it around. What is it about you and people saying, is he talking about us?
I really don't know. Means I think maybe they were guilt conscious. I don't know, because see, I pick up these characters definitely from the real life. I never said my films are basically derived from my interact or go, and I remember when corporate I was making, when Page 3 got released, corporate, there are a lot of corporate people who didn't allow me to come. They said, no, Madhur Bhandarkar, no, we don't want, because hamare bhi film bana dega ye. And that's what happened. So I think there is a perception and strong perception, and they believe so, I feel so, कि what Madhur shows, like traffic signal के बाद, like nobody is giving money, there are a lot of traffic signal, I meet beggars and all this, आपके पीछे का हमको पैसा देता नहीं है. So I really feel कि there's a strong perception goes कि यार मधुर ने दिखाया तो सही है बोल के, that what. But this is my thing, like I think I have a streak of being a journalist inside me, and always say that Madhur Bhandarkar makes movies. I mean, he has a journalistic view which is portrayed in the film in terms of celluloid. People write articles, people write books, or people write news. But I make films. But that is my perspective of looking to the cinema, and that's about them how much they take seriously or they don't take seriously.